Hello everyone, a very good evening to all of you. We are really glad that you joined our session and I request everyone to read the poster put up here and follow it kindly. And today's session is to be taken by Harshitha. She is going to teach you or guide you through TypeScript and I'm handing over the session to Harshitha.
Yeah, good evening. Can we start, core team? Or should we wait
Yes,
for another 2 minutes?
yes, yes,
Maybe
you
at
can start.
6:10 we'll start. Okay.
Yeah, you can start, I guess.
Yeah, okay, you can start. I guess most of them have joined.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome to another workshop presented by Hack Club NMIT. I'm Harshitha P and this is going to be a workshop on TypeScript. So yeah, I hope you have read all these instructions. You can put up your questions in the chat box. All your questions will be addressed. Yeah, TypeScript gets started by Harshitha P. This is a symbol of TypeScript. It is basically developed and designed by Microsoft. So what is TypeScript? TypeScript was created by Microsoft and it's a superset of JavaScript. So if you don't know what a superscript is, that is basically anything you can do in JavaScript. You can do the same thing also in TypeScript. So it inherits all the functionalities of JavaScript and then adds some extra features in syntax, which we'll go through in a minute. Another example of superscript is Objective-C, which is a superset of C language, yeah. And then this compiles to plain JavaScript. That means it transcompiles into standard JavaScript as the browser can't read the TypeScript file. It can only read JavaScript. There's a program called TSC that we can use to compile it easily. TypeScript can be integrated into JavaScript projects quite easily. And it is mainly designed for larger application. And of course, you can use it for small applications, but if you have a very small code base, it might just be a waste or an extra step to add TypeScript. So I advise you not to use this for small applications. And then, all right, we know what TypeScript is. Now we'll know what TypeScript offers. First of all, it gives us a static type checking. By default, JavaScript is an untyped language, meaning that we don't have to specify variable or type or function types. And what I mean by types is a string or number, array, and so on. So high-level languages like Java, they require you to specify data types or any of the types, although it's an extra step, but it's kind of important sometimes. It has its own advantages. All right. And the one great thing about TypeScript is that its static typing is completely optional, so you don't have to do it at all. Next we have is class-based objects. We also get class-based objects with TypeScript. If you have any experience with PHP or Python or Java, you have probably worked with classes in object-oriented programming. With standard JavaScript ES5, you have this prototype, which is kind of confusing and annoying with the new ES6 standard. We can use classes in TypeScript, and this is fully compatible. Now modularity, now TypeScript also makes JavaScript more modular. So we can do things like import other files and other modules and components. And then as I told you, ES6 features, we get all the ES6 features like arrow functions, and we can also use let and constant for declaring variables, things like that. Also syntax closer to Java and other high-level languages. So it's almost similar to any of your high-level languages like Java and Scala, etc. So now we'll see what is static type checking. This is one of the main features, hence the name TypeScript. We can check and assign types for variables, parameters, and functions. So like I said, this is completely optional. It's not going to throw an error if you don't use it. The only time it's going to throw you an error is when you assign a certain type to a variable and then you try to fill it with the wrong type. So if you say, if I say you you want to typecast any input as be it string, but then you put in number, obviously it's going to throw you an error. So static types also they'll find and prevent, I'm so sorry. Okay, static types also will find and prevent bugs and stop future issues from happening. Not only that, but it makes our code much more readable and descriptive, especially if you're sharing the code with others. Next, we have TypeScript types. So these are, I'm sure you have seen in other high-level languages. So here are the types we can use in TypeScript. So we have basic types such as string, number, booleans, which are true or false values, and arrays. And then we also have any, which takes in any kind of type or data into it. And then we have void, which is no type written. We have null or undefined. And then a tuple, which is basically an array with a fixed number of elements. And then enum, which are enumerated values, and then generics, which specify the type of constraints. This is great for reusable code. It's a little more advanced, and we might get into this later, maybe in the end. Next, we have class-based objects. So another huge advantage to TypeScript is the use of classes. First one is object-oriented programming in JSI.
Hello, Arshita.
This,
I'm really sorry for interrupting you. Can you go a bit
yeah,
slow
okay.
and be a little more clear with your voice? I'm sorry for the interruption.
Oh, okay, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
A bit loud, I guess, would be better.
okay, sure. Yeah, I was talking about class-based objects. So first one is object-oriented programming. So this gives us an ability to use true object-oriented programming in our JavaScript applications. We can define classes, properties, and methods. And then no prototype. We can stop using prototype-based objects in TypeScript. So, and then encapsulation. It provides us with encapsulation and keeps all the functionality of certain resources in one place. So if we have a blog on our website, be it an example, we can have a blog or a post class, and we can keep all the functionality inside that class, and it can be used anywhere, anytime as per your need. Um, Next, we have inheritance. So this is super common. So uh, this also is applicable in TypeScript. So inheritance, we can inherit classes and have subclasses. And the last one is modifiers. We can even use access modifiers like public, protected, and private. And this, using an any class alone is a great reason to use TypeScript. Next, we have TypeScript compiler. As I told you, TSC. As I mentioned, TypeScript files need to be compiled because the browser doesn't read TypeScript. This is done with the TypeScript compiler, which is called TSC. So basically, it takes the .ts files and transpiles them into .js files, and then we can just include those files in our HTML. All right, so TSC can be installed with npm, which is the Node package modules. So you'll just need to install Node.js on your system. You can follow along, and even if you don't know anything about Node, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. Next, we have supports ES6. Again, as I told you previously, it supports ES6 or ES 2015 syntax. So we can use a let and const arrow function and all that good stuff here. Yeah. So yeah, that was my introductory part. These were the slide introductions. So now let's get started with TypeScript coding. All right, guys. So first of all, what I would like to tell you guys is all the resources of today's workshop will be present in Hack Club /workshop in GitHub. Just go to today's date, that is 7th November 2020, and you'll get all that I'm doing today. Okay. So now for today's workshop, you need to download Node.js. just go to nodejs.org and then download. If you're a Linux or a Mac user, you can install it using your package managers. Just make sure you get that set up. Next, we need a text editor as well. I am using Visual Studio. It's super nice for TypeScript. So it's really good for highlighting and error checking. I would recommend it. But of course, you can use whatever you like for the text editor. So you have to have these two installed in your system. So now I would like to get started with TypeScript. What we'll do is I'm taking up a terminal. I'll be installing a TypeScript. I'm using npm package, so it'll be npm. And so I'm going to say npm where it doesn't matter what path you're in because we're installing it globally. Just make sure you do npm install -g. That will install it globally so that you can access it from anywhere. And then you just want to say TypeScript. So it'll be npm install -g for global and then TypeScript. So I actually have mine installed. You can do this with me. You can open your either your CMD or your terminal on Visual Studio and start doing this. Okay. Yeah, next I'm using a folder. So I'll be creating a file and I'm going to save it as maybe apps or basics. Basics.ts. Since we're using TypeScript, its extension is TS. Okay, cool. Now I'll write a small console.log hello from TS. Oops. Okay. So to compile a TypeScript file, the program is tsc space, give your file name .ts. And now we can look over here, a JavaScript file is also created. So this is the same thing because we don't put any TypeScript in the TS file. So it's identical, but the JavaScript is what you want to include in your application or your website. So you have an index, yeah, so you have this. Next, I'll be creating an index.html file. I think I've copied something. No. So HTML. Okay, there's something wrong. HTML. One second, I have some problem. Okay, this. Okay, cool. HTML, and then I'll have a head. I'll have a title. And let that be learning with learning TypeScript. Okay. And I'll have a body. And I'll say a hello over here. And next, what I want you to do is include a script file, script tag, and include as source, and include and put in basics.js over here. Basics.js and save your file and run this. So you can see a hello over here. And in my console, you can see hello from TS. So this is basically TypeScript. So all of our work is going to be in our TS file. We don't want to touch the TS. It's just what gets compiled and what gets included in our HTML. Okay. So there was no TypeScript element in this. Next, we'll start with TypeScript. I would like to start up with data types. Data types. So the syntax, first I'll go with string. Let's let my string, this is the common syntax, or you can use const as well. My string equals hello, and then console to log my string. Okay. Now I'll run again the same command. Yeah, cool. And then I'll go back to my and you can see it's updated. There's a hello over here. That's from your string over here. Similarly, you can go to your numbers. Let my num, take it as a number, syntactic number, and then my num equals, I take it as 1, and then console.log my num. Okay. Save, and then what I'm going to do here is instead of putting in the command again and again, you can run it in watch mode. It's just the same command with -w and run it, and this keeps compiling on its own. Yeah, so 0 errors found. And go back here, and then yeah, you got a 1 here. Cool. Similarly, if you want to include Boolean, just change this to Boolean. And include value true or false, anything. Save. You see here, there are zero errors. So that's compiled automatically. We didn't have to again do it on our own manually. And then you have a true. Similarly, you can do false as well. Okay. Next, I'll take another data type called any. In any, you can input anything you want, string, number, Boolean. So let me include a string like hi. Okay, there's 0 errors found. Cool. Now there's hi here. And I'll show you a number, 1. Oh, so sorry. Save, and then 0 errors again. And there's 1. And for those who want to see a Boolean, okay, true. And again, there's 0 errors and true. Okay. Next, I'll show you arrays. Arrays there are actually two types. You can use the syntax two types. So I'll take starr, and this can be written as whatever you want, like your data type to be, and then just include this. Yeah, and then array. Put in your inputs here. Okay. Console.log and str array. Okay. there's 0 errors. And we've got hi. What does this do? Another way is let str array equals, just write array, put it in the thing, and then yeah, the same thing, str, the same thing. Okay. Okay. So this will be str. Okay. And again, there's 0 errors, and this will be updated here. We got that. So we are done with arrays also now. Now I'll show you tuple. So tuple is nothing but an array with fixed elements. Select str num tuple string and then number str num tuple equals hello. Just keep the order however you've kept during declaration the same, since I've used string first and then number second. Do the same thing, don't mess it up, or else you'll get an error. Log and then str num tuple. Save this, and yeah, no errors. And you get this here. So after this, it's not restricted to just 2 inputs. You can give more inputs, no problem. But your starting 2 elements must be the same, must follow the same order as you've entered, as you've declared. So keep that in mind. Okay. Next we have void. Let my void, let's do void. I'll take a null value, and I console.log. Yeah, you can declare it. You can initialize it during declaration as well. No problem. Void. Oh, that's right. Let's save it, and okay. I have no idea what's happening. Okay. Okay, it's null. Similarly, there's a null and undefined. You can do the same thing, and for null and undefined, you'll have to assign it to either null or undefined, not anything else. If you assign a number, a string, it'll give you an error. So these were your data types. Next, we'll go to functions. Functions. So functions have this similar kind of syntax as that of JavaScript. So if you know any high-level languages, you will be familiar with this as well. So let's see what happens here. We'll take a function, get sum, we'll add two numbers and we'll see. So this will be num1 space num2. And you can declare the type of your parameters. That is, I want a number. And the next one also to be a number. And the return type of the function also, I want it to be a number. Okay. Next, here. Next, it's a return statement. Num1 plus num2. And then console dot log. Get sum. I'll give value as 1, 4. Yeah. So this is just a basic type, and I have included JavaScript, TypeScript here, and that is through these. You can see that, right? Let me see. So there's 0 errors, and yeah, 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay. So I'll write another function called let. I'll take the same thing, but I'll use any as the data type for the parameters. So let my sum equals function. Num1 is to any space, num2 is to any, and is number. I want this to be passed to number. Okay. Now, if you can use the functions that are like so many functions, num1 equals to string, put them in quotations, equal to string, num1 equals pass in of num1. Okay. So I'll do one thing, I'll take this as number. Now the same thing, return num1 plus num2. Okay. In console log. It's my sum, and I'll give an input as 2, 5. And okay. I forgot an E over here. Yeah, 0 errors, and it's 7. Good. So these are just 2 examples of using functions, right? Now I'll tell you how to use interfaces. There's something called interfaces. So interfaces also interfaces also are like they reduce the complexity in a function. So you see this. I mean, okay, we've not okay. So it's very simple. You can just use interface, and let me do like a to-do list. To do. I'm using 2 things in those variables, string and then text. It's the string. Okay. And then I'll use a function that's called show to do, and to do is to do. So I don't have to declare these separately in here. So this reduces the length of the program, or else we'll have to declare all of these again under this to do under this all the elements like the value types with the pair. So that's an advantage over here. And then console.log, and you have to do dot title Okay. So, and then I will concatenate it with to do X maybe. Yeah. Okay. Next, I will just let my to do equals title. I'm just giving values in, putting in the values, trash, and the text. Yes. And the text is what do I give? Take it out maybe. Okay. And then we call this function show to do. Is it small d? Yeah. Show to do. And my to do. I think, yeah, that's good. Yeah, 0 errors. And then, yeah, you can see here, trash, take it out. Okay. So you've seen some of the basics, and the next basics again is classes. So I'm going to finish the basics real soon. Okay. Classes again is super simple. Using a class, you can inherit, you can do encapsulation, you can also use your access specifiers or modifiers in it. So I'll give an example of one of the classes. So you can also add in, it's similar to any of your high level languages. If you know Java, if you know PHP, all of them, the syntax is almost similar. So let's get started. So it's class, I'll take an user and then name is the string. And then I'll take email. So I'm doing this to input the name, email, and age of a user, and then just create a username. Email is again a string, and we can input the age, and that's number. Okay. Next, I'll be using a constructor. Constructor is a special kind of function or method that runs when you instantiate an object in this class. So when you create a user, this is going to run like this. So use constructor and name is to a string again. Email is a string, and then input your age. Age is again, okay, number. Next, we use something called this function. That is what we want to do is to assign these things to properties. So we do that with this dot name. So when we use this, it pertains to this class. So we want this class name properties to be inherited. So we use this. So it goes like that. This dot name equals name. This dot email equals email. Similarly, this dot age equals age. Okay, cool. Next, we'll add a console that will say username user created. So I'll just put user created. Maybe okay. And then I'll add whatever this is, this dot name. And outside the class will give an input. John equals new user and John Doe, and his email will be gmail.com, and his age will be like 33. Yeah. So this is your class, user, and the name, email ID, age. Yeah, everything is fine. I will run this. Okay, there's 0 errors. And then you should get a message, user created, and then John Doe. User created John Doe. Cool. Next, we can also change these. We can use our modifiers here, and like public, protected, and private. And if you want to do inheritance, you can use protected. And again, you can inherit this class over here. Similar, the syntax is all similar. Yeah. So that's it. And yeah. So these were your basics. These were your basics, and what all we learned were data types, and then we learned about functions, interfaces, and classes. So these are kind of important for TypeScript. So yeah. Now what I would like to do is to create one sec. I'll take in a new file, and we call it index.ts. Now we'll use all that we learned, and we'll do one program to generate invoice. Yeah. So first, I'll use the concept of interference, that is class. I'm using the class name as user. This is, okay, implements user interface. And then now we can use the name as string. We have to take in the name, again, email, and the age. And then we'll use the constructor. We'll use a constructor, okay, called the name string, and email is to, again, string, and age is to number. Okay. Again, we'll use this concept as we have learned. We've learned all this already. We're using the same concepts. Actually, I should copy and paste. Anyways, okay. And this will be this dot age. Take it as age. Okay. Next, we'll add on a console as usual, and log print user created. So created, and this dot name. So next, okay, we've seen all this, right? Next, what we'll do is there's something called methods. I think I'll enter a method and I'll call it register. Okay. And this register will have a console.log, and this will print this dot a name. Okay. Just be careful of syntax errors. It's like the lamest errors you can do. So this will print that the person, so-called person, is now registered. Just a simple, it's just a simple method function, yeah, whatever you call it. Okay. So, and I think I'll use one more method. So since we're doing a program on checking out the invoice, so I'll use pay invoice. And here I'll have console.log, and this will tell that the person has paid. So whoever this person is dot name, so we'll get to know that person's name, class, and paid invoice. Okay, cool. Now we'll come out of class and we'll use another subclass. We haven't used protected, but still you can do this, no problem. Extends, and then this is the syntax. I just wanted to show you about inheritance here. Next we have ID. Yeah, cool. And then again a constructor, and this constructor has a ID and the number from our name, and that will be a string, and email. And again, all these are actually inherited from your class, in this class, this main class. Yeah, it's string. And finally, I guess we use age. Yeah, age is number. So this is a constructor. Inside the constructor, what we'll do is again, we take an inputs. So you use the keyword super to get the access to the base class. So super, and then give all your elements that belong to your base class, email, and then yes, age. Okay. And then again, we'll use this as I've told you guys before. So again, we are using pay invoice. Yeah, we can use this to run the function that's already present. Okay, wait, this should be so pay invoice super dot pay invoice. Okay. So this will go here, and again the person's name, and with the comment paid invoice will be displayed. Okay. And then outside class we'll write that I'll take someone called Mike, and the user equals new member, and I'll put the ID as 1, and their name is Mike, and his email ID is mike@gmail.com, and his age is 33, and from the function pay invoice. Okay. I hope there's no mistakes. A lot of reds. Okay, let's save and see. Yeah, and then when you do this, you've created a new file. Go to your index.html where you have written script source. Just change this. Okay, first run this in your terminal. That is tsc index.ts. Okay, and this will create a JavaScript index.js. And go to your index.html and change here into index.js. Okay, and you can see the errors. Okay. I'll keep it in watch mode. There's still 3 errors. Okay. Okay. Can anyone see any errors? You can just put up in the chat box. Comma 33 and then this string.
Hello, Arshita. Sorry for the interruption. We have a question over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Someone has asked, what does implements mean?
So we have used both class and interface together. See, user and you're taking interface together. So you're implementing your interface in class together. So yeah, you just use a keyword implement so that you can integrate your interface in your class. So you don't have to do this in separate. As we have done here, you can see that interface, we have written it separately, and then comes your stuff. But here, yeah, your class name, yeah, like you're implementing your interface inside your class. Yeah, simple as that. Hello, is it fine? Use the interface. Okay, there's some problem here. It's actually created. An interface is created. Mm. Check this out again. Okay, I'll come back to this. Now I'll tell you how to integrate TypeScript with Node and Express. So what we do is just type tsc version, and now I'll create a file called app.ts, and yeah, of course I'll run this tsc app.ts, and now Okay. App.js is created. Okay, one sec, I'll just come back. BSc index. No, I'll get back to this. Okay. So I'll delete this JavaScript which has been created, since again it'll be form. Okay. Now I'll use CSC init. CSC init. ES configuration JSO has been formed here. I'll keep it everything. It's so overwhelming, I know, but I won't change much. Target, you can either keep it as ES5 or ES6, and then there's this. I'll use this outdoor directory into directory, and outdoor I'll put it into gist, and this one I'll put it into src, and then there's something called node module, and yeah, I want this as well. Okay, I'll save this. Now I'll do one thing. Create a folder called create a code src, and I'll put my app.ts in it. Now just run esc, get errors, yeah, sorry, cd src, yeah, and then tsc. I'm having some problems, so sorry. It's expected to contain all this. This should be here, okay. Model resolution. Just type npm init.y. Okay. And then npm I express, and this will download your express, and then npm I -c TypeScript ts.node, and I'll even take node mount, add types dash node, and types dash express. Yeah, I forgot to put that. Okay, have some problem here. So these two are actually created. I don't know why it's showing. Okay. Now this is created in script. You can put start. This will node node the destination and then app.js. It's created inside this. Okay, this is a problem in TypeScript. Okay. Yeah, put this in brackets, don't forget. And then you get there again in brackets. So I'll use node mount src slash app dot ts. Yeah. And then yes. Yeah, so basically, yeah, you can like delete your destination folder, no problem. And I run this again. Let's save it up and then it will be created. So gsc app.ts. Okay, there's a problem. I'll show you in I'll show you quickly what I have done already. Yeah, so you can see here in destination, actually app.js has been created easily. I don't know what's happening now. And here, TS configuration. I'll be using target and module. In target, it's ES6 and leave the common JS because we need it. And then here it's output directly and root directly, you keep it and assigned to GIS, the destination and source. And here, yeah, module resolution, like remove the comment. So this will be it for TS configuration. And for package JSO here, yeah, add a start in script, add start and put it to destination and develop dev to again source, and then you build it with a TSC or TSC dash P. So that'll be it, these two changes. And in source, you'll have to include your express should be imported over here. So it'll be import express, and then you have a request, response, and an application. And we'll include a next function as well. And here I'll just add two numbers, say A and B. And we've used TypeScript here because there's like, yeah, the syntax has been followed. And when we do that, and here is our console.log at 5,5. And yeah, when we do this, and yeah, once you do this, you can just use npm. Yeah, this is in localhost 5000. This is being localhost 5000. So npm run build. Okay. I've always had this problem. I'll take it. I'll kill this. One three. Yeah, we try this one. Yeah, so it got built. Yeah, once it's built, you can run it by npm start. Okay. Yeah, so we got the console.log server running over here. So now go to your browser, type in localhost 5000, and you get a hello. And in your console, yeah, oh, sorry. And then, yeah, you get 10 here. The numbers 5 and 5 will get added. Yeah, so you can implement TypeScript in Express as well as Node by this way. I know I haven't given the installation clearly. You can refer to Hack Club NMIT workshop, the GitHub repo. I have included everything here. So yeah. Yeah. So TypeScript is JavaScript's runtime with compile time TypeScript. So yeah, thank you for attending, and all the references are these. I've also included them in the GitHub repo. So it'll be really helpful. You might get stuck up like how I have, but yeah, you'll need like a little bit time to adjust with it. And yeah, my laptop is acting really weird today, especially today. But it might look a little complex, but yeah, you can do it. Just go through it. It's all, I've given everything in detail. Okay, thank you for attending.
Thank you, Harshita. And participants, if you had any doubts, you can ask now. You can let us know through the chat box. And thank you, participants, for attending our session. And your participation is the only thing that motivates us to make more and more sessions like this. And thank you once again. And we'll be expecting you on our next session. And I hope there is no doubts over here. So I guess you participants can leave the session right now.